Okay, so hi everyone. It's very nice to see you, and it's very nice that you had a chance to come to our webinar. Actually, today we are talking about the strategy and the company strategy decomposing to the single task. I'm Nesta Gadol from Toolstrack, and today I, as a head of Monday.com perspective, as, as a head of Monday.com practice will show you how exactly those strategic initiatives, those projects and tasks can be decomposed both in the system and in the company everyday's work. The topic is pretty tough because usually companies do not pay that much attention to linkage of the strategies and projects and tasks. People work every day. Companies just create their strategy and try to follow, but sometimes they meet issues and difficulties related to how to transform those high-level initiatives to the low-level tasks, because we all know that we work with low-level tasks. No one, just works with the strategy. We all work with the task. So the purpose of this call is to show you how it can be implemented in your company straight away. You will see today the Monday.com platform, which I will show you in the second part of our call. And this platform includes several types of models, and one of those is made just to work with the processes, to work with projects, initiatives, and all other types of strategic entities. You will see how the strategy works there, how it can be decomposed to projects, what is portfolio, how the tasks can be decomposed, and how tasks and projects and strategies talk to each other and send to each other all the data, like timelines, like statuses, risks, etc. Usually, companies have an issue when the strategy is hanged as a PDF file and doesn't go anywhere else. It usually happens because on a high level it's very hard, and it's complicated to understand what exactly you should do to get the strategy done. That's why usually strategies are very high level and tasks are very low level, and sometimes people cannot switch from one thing to another. Usually, this issue can be solved with the multi-level approach, with the multi-level management strategy, which can be reflected in the system as well. When the company is not transparent, sometimes the company cannot follow the strategy properly, because every day the people are coming, the people are burning budgets, the people are working, but sometimes they are working in the wrong direction. And this webinar will be showing how exactly this tasks can be put into right direction, how we can understand that we are following the strategic goals that we have. The multi-level contour of management is when you have several layers of your tasks. First is a high-level task, it's strategic goals. Those strategic goals should be formulated properly. So those goals should have a timeline, should have a purpose, should have a priority. Sometimes they can be categorized into different types, and those high-level goals are usually the strategic goals of the company. So the company every several years or every year decides where it wants to be in the future. And according to these decisions, those company goals are created. And as soon as those are created, they transform into either initiatives or projects or both. So in order to reach those goals, to be where we want to be, we need to decompose those high-level strategic goals into actionable plan, which is actually projects. Those projects also have some required parameters that need to be both in the processes and reflected in the system. Those are types, those are timelines, those are priorities, and those are something that everyone usually misses. One of the crucial parameters of the project is the relation to the strategic goals. So the project cannot exist itself by itself. It needs to be linked to certain strategic initiative, either one or several. So we know that the projects actually are actionable plans to be where we want to be, but the project itself does not exist in the vacuum. The project also consists of tasks, and those tasks are assigned to people, to workers, to employees, which work on those tasks every day. In this scenario, we have a decomposition of tasks, which looks like a tree. And in the root, we have all the strategic initiatives. And on the top, as the leaves, we have all low-level tasks. That's how the processes in companies can be reflected in the system as well. Let me share my screen. It's shared. Okay. So here in this screen, Monday.com is showing you how we can store those initiatives. Every line in this table is a certain initiative which has a goal. So it has a link to either strategic goal or just a strategic description. It has a priority, it has a type, etc., etc. So everything that is related to strategic initiatives and goals can be stored here. Those are high level, and this board can be presented on every strategical meeting. So we can actually observe how we are doing during the time using this timeline view, and we can estimate those initiatives during the years. So those are high level. That's why the level of planning will be very high. And as soon as the initiatives are here, we can decompose them into portfolios and projects. And in this case, Monday gives us a very flexible tool to manage it all. First of all, we will have the portfolio view, which stores all the projects, both upcoming and completed, and the projects which are in progress on a single view. Depending on which data about the projects we need to store, there will be several or many columns. And depending on the projects, those columns will be different, and we can configure the values of this column depending on our business processes. First of all, the projects all will have their health. So depending on the project health, the decision can be made. And this project health is decided by the project manager on regular project routine meetings, and is communicated like on the top to the strategic level. Second, we will have the linkage to strategy. So every project will be linked to the strategy, to the strategic initiative, and the priority of the strategic initiative will be affecting the project priority itself. We will also have the stage which is upcoming or in progress, etc. So you can configure it, and all the projects here will give you the understanding of what is going on the project level. Those views can be also transformed to Gantt. So if the projects are linked, are dependent on each other, are connected to each other, those actually can be linked, and the system can reflect this connection in a timeline. So in order, if one project shifts, then all the other projects that are dependent can be shifted as well. And you will see how one project can affect other projects in execution and the timeline. Then Monday provides some kind of a risk insights view. It means that you'll be able to handle the risks using AI. This AI thing reads the project list, reads every parameter of the project, and realizes and shows you and highlights which risks can appear in this case. Sometimes we can see the risks ourselves, sometimes we cannot. That's why the additional layer of security here can help. First of all, the risks can be categorized. They can be split by severity. They can also be split by the topic, like what is this risk about. And you can also filter those risks to understand, to focus and to understand which projects they are related to. If we see the risk, we can either address it or do something with this, notify, go to project, resolve, etc., etc. So depending on the risk policy that you have in your company, you will be able to manage those risks accordingly. Those projects can be also seen as a Kanban or as a snapshot, which is actually the summary of all the projects that you have. And it reflects the current static situation in the company related to the projects. Actually, those projects can be split by 3 categories: red zone, yellow zone, and green zone. And you'll see the summary of every zone here. But when it comes to the tasks, things can a little bit change because the tasks are something that is like on the ground level. So when we have the project, first of all, we will need to decompose it to the tasks. And that is something that I will show you. Actually, Monday supports many types of the project. So you can associate the project schedule with the project type, and those project schedules can be created automatically. And as a result, you have something like that as your project schedule, which will consist of tasks that should be done. Of course, this is the schedule of the project, which is in progress, but you can also create the new ones and start from either from scratch or from the ready structure. Those tasks are related to the project schedule, and product manager, after the creation of these tasks, can adjust this schedule to this project. So let's say you can have several types of projects in the company, and then when you create the according the project schedule out of the according template, this template can be adjusted to the single project. So you can either add some tasks or delete some tasks. And as soon as the project schedule is ready, those tasks can be assigned to people who will work on them. Those people will be able to see all their tasks in one place, which is called My Work. We will not stop here like for a long time in the purpose of timing. So those people will be able to see all the assigned tasks in the single place. And the project manager will be able to control and to track what is happening in the project in all of his projects. Actually, the thing is when the person is changing the status here on the low level, this person can change it from their workplace as well. This status change is reflected on the project level. So the more tasks are done, the higher the progress is. So if we refer to this project on portfolio level, if we refer to the project on a portfolio level, we'll see how the project progress is distributed here. So we will see how many tasks of this project are in certain status. In this particular case, we can see that the project search has 29 tasks, 19 of which are done, which is 65%. And we can also compare it to the timeline. So some timeline needs some time to load. This timeline is also coming from the bottom level of the tasks. And in the project level, we'll have two timelines. One is just a planned timeline. It is something that we planned for the future. And the actual timeline is the timeline of the tasks which are inside of this project. And comparing those two values, we can understand if the project is on track or not. So the project manager, when working with the project, will see both of those statistics. First of all, let me pick another project. First of all, this person will see. Let's see. This person will see the overall project progress in the distribution of done and not done statuses. This person will be able to see the whole Gantt chart of these tasks, of this project actually, and all the tasks within. And this person will see the history of changing this status. Currently, this project is at risk, but we can put it on track and see the reflection here. As soon as the project is done, it can be marked as completed, and the initiative will know about it. Actually, the goal of all this exercise is to give the clear understanding of where we are currently are on the initiatives level, on the strategy level. And that's why strategies are also linked to the project and get the information from the project as well. So here we can see that all the initiatives have the related projects with them, and the project health and the project progress is reflected here on initiatives level. And the timeline goes here as well. So the actual timeline of all the projects that are related to a certain initiative is linked here to the initiative level. And we are able to see the planned and actual timeline and compare those values. And actually the initiative status can be reflected here if something goes wrong. Let's say in this particular example, we have a planned timeline which is earlier than the actual timeline. And now we understand that the actual timeline is going to delay. And that's why the initiative status is something like an attention. We need to pay attention to this initiative to either recompose the project or reprioritize tasks to make sure that the initiative is executed on time. This goes to every initiative, and the system is reflecting the proper information about how the things are going, starting from the tasks. So this actually is about the tasks. This is the combined view of all the tasks on a very low level that are related to the certain initiative. And we can track all the levels of the task, starting from the tasks and ending on the initiatives. We can track both the timeline and the progress and health at all. So speaking about the initiatives, we will have the transparent picture of what is happening, starting from the very high level to the very low level. So those tasks in the project, as I said, can be assigned to people, and those data will be populated and updated online. So let's say if all the assignees will put those statuses to done, then this initiative will become green and we will be able to see it in real time here. Okay, that is actually how all those entities are linked to each other. Then we have this tree of initiatives, this tree of projects, tasks, etc. What can we do with this information, and how we can get the reports and understand what to do next? For this case, we have the reporting for all levels of the tasks. First of all, I would like to say that Monday is actually very let me show you, very I would say colorful, but those colors are aimed to deliver the information like straight in the brain. Here we can see that one task is done on time and the other task is not. And the color of the timeline differs, and we quickly can understand that in this particular project, on the task level, something is either overdue or not done, or we have some issues here. And as soon as the person who is responsible for the tasks can quickly understand that something is not right with his tasks, this person can change the priorities accordingly. So we can translate those colors very quickly into actions. So if something is red, then I need to put effort to make it green back. And as soon as everything is green, I understand that I'm like doing good and my everyday work makes sense, I would say. On the project level, we have like many types of reporting. First of all, as I said, it's a snapshot, which gives the project managers clear understanding of what's going on. It's also a very huge engine of dashboards, which I will demonstrate a little bit later. We all know that project managers have their routine for every week and every month. They need to have the reporting related to their project, etc., etc. And those reporting are usually gathered manually. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to combine all those data into a single report. Monday can do it automatically, so we can see the project status as a report. These reports can be modified in any way. So you can decide what exact data you would like to show on those reports. And those reports can be actually presented on those project meetings, on executive meetings, and you'll be able to combine the information the way you're supposed to think it's okay. So those reports are the combination of a free text that you can put by your own and some data that you can pull out of your project. And this data can be updated automatically. You can highlight risks. You can focus on certain tasks. You can add some widgets that will summarize the project budgets or project progress or something. And you can change the report the way you usually work. So any data that can be automatically pulled out of the project will be pulled here. And you can comment this data with your own words here in a text area. So as soon as you need the report, you can get it semi-automatically from Monday, or if you don't need to comment those data, you can just put the data and that's it. For the project itself, we also have those Gantt and portfolio view and project info views, etc. So project info view can gather the information from the project depending on what exactly you would like to show. If the data is populated in the project, it can be actually pulled to the level of reporting. So any data that you have in your portfolio, in your projects and tasks can be pulled here and presented as a report. So for a single project, we can have the status summary, we can have internal reporting, etc. But for the portfolio itself, for the stack of projects, the reports can become cumulative. First of all, we will need to pull on the upper level all the budget-related information and all the information that is related to timeline and resources. That is achieved using those dashboards. So you can connect all the portfolios that you have to the dashboards, and those dashboards will answer the questions that you usually have to answer. So those reports will help you to answer the questions that you are facing every day in your work. First of all, the budget information can be pulled. The margin, if you work with customers, let's say those dashboards can include both deals which are closed and projects that are linked to those deals in one single place. So you'll be able to see the margin, the spend budget, the allocated budget in one single widget to understand what is happening. You will also be able to manage the timeline here to understand which projects are going when and to see where we exactly are and what is happening. And for the projects, actually the reports can be very different and complex depending on what exactly you would like to show. So they can the information can be displayed either project by project or all the projects together, etc., etc. So depending on the data that you're working with, those project information can be displayed in a different way. And all those reports are clickable. So it's not just the abstract data, it's the data which has the tasks and the project on the ground, under the feed. So when you click the value, you can understand where is the value coming from. So you'll be able to see which tasks are actually the base for this particular data. In this case, we can see all those hours that are accumulated here in Project Romeo. Those are here. So you will not be like by yourself, because all the information will be linked from the very top level to the very low level. And being on the middle level, now we're on the level of the project, we still are able to find, to achieve, to get the information that is on the very low level, on the tasks and subtasks level. And by the way, you can, if you need to either comment or leave a correction or ask a question, you can actually do it right from here. You don't need to go to the project board to understand who is exactly responsible, etc. Everything is written here, and you can just ask the status or change something right from this view. This goes to the reporting level. But what about the initiatives? When we have the strategic initiatives, we ask some different questions. First of all, we need to understand what our initiatives look like. First of all, what's the priority? How the project priorities reflect the initiative priorities. And in this case, we can just see it in a single widget again. So for initiative, let's say 1, we have 50% of projects with a low priority and 50% projects with high priority. And this goes to every initiative. And sometimes if we understand that the initiative 2 is extremely important for us, but we can see that there is only one critical project in this initiative. So it means that we need to raise the priorities of those projects that are in this initiative. Then we can control the budgets of initiatives. So system goes through all the initiatives through all of the data and gathers the information related to the budget. And we can see the overall, let's say it's just an example, so you can actually put your own data here, put your own metrics here, and manage and watch those metrics as well. So in this particular example, we can see that the initiatives budget is here, and the allocated budget from the project level is here as well. And we can compare those numbers and understand where exactly we are in the terms of budget. We also can understand the budget distribution on those initiatives. So we can see how much budget is allocated to certain initiative comparing to others. On a timeline view, we can understand where we are in the matter of initiatives. So as soon as their initiatives are made out of projects, so they have projects inside, we can see every project which goes to any initiative and estimate if we are somewhere where we need to be or not. Sometimes we see the difference between our planned timeline and actual, and that's why here we can also understand why this difference happens, which exact project is delayed comparing to others inside of the initiative. And here, the projects themselves can be also marked with the colors depending on either their status or their budget or their temperature. So depending on the criteria you would like to put on the upper level, you can mark projects differently and see the structure of your initiatives and how this structure is distributed by quarters, years, etc. So that's the initiative strategic report that can help you to understand if your initiatives are aligned to your plans, like if your real actual projects reflect your strategic goals. As for the data, actually, when we are talking about high-level initiatives, strategic goals, and budgets, first of all, we need to understand that some information can be sensitive and cannot be spread anywhere through our organization. In Monday, we have many types of security permissions. So you can close all the reports, you can close all the data in the boards. So you can close either the board itself or the report itself or some parts of the board. So let's say we would like to present this board, but without the budgets. We need to close the budget column, and this budget column will become invisible to anyone except the people we would like to allow to see this column. And the same goes to the initiatives. Sometimes the initiatives can be hidden from certain either people or teams. In this case, we just configure the permission this way that sometimes owners who are responsible for the initiatives can see only their own initiatives. In this case, they will be able just to access the initiatives they are responsible for, and that's it. And the same goes to projects, and the same goes to tasks. Here on the project level, we can also close some kind of information like budgets or employees or whatever actually we would like to. And those information will not be visible to people we don't want to see it. And the same goes to tasks as well. Inside of the project, something like here, inside of the project, we can also close some columns or some lines in order to hide this information if the information is sensitive. That makes the system applicable to the companies with the enterprise grade of security. So you'll be able to, to configure the information visibility for your team, for your employee, and for your stakeholders. What else? Then, in order to have the standardized strategic planning, I apologize, strategic planning process, first of all, you will need to make sure that the strategy initiatives are linked to the project, that they do not exist by themselves, but that they are linked to the certain projects and actionable plan. And as soon as you have this actionable plan and you can track it on the level of the tasks, then you can be sure that you will have the honest picture of what is happening inside the organization, inside the project office, and inside the company as well. And the next question actually is how to achieve this state, how to achieve this level of transparency. Actually, I would say there are two ways. One is long and one is short. Everyone likes short ways, but actually the short way is to start from the portfolio. So what you can do like tomorrow is to identify your projects, identify the tasks that are in those projects. Many companies they work with the project portfolio tools, so you can just understand which projects are linked to which tasks and which tasks are without the project. So you here you will be able to understand the distribution of the tasks between projects or between the task without the project. So if you have some tasks without the projects, then you already know that those tasks cannot be linked to strategic initiatives. So you'll be forced to understand why those tasks are there, and maybe those are some routine tasks, operational tasks, but anyway, the volume of operational tasks should be transparent and understandable. And as soon as you understand your projects and your operational tasks, then you will need to link those projects to strategy initiatives. So the quickest way to achieve this state is first to understand your portfolio, and second to link those projects that you currently have in your portfolio to the strategic initiatives. If those projects are linked to the strategic initiatives, then you'll be able to realize, to understand where exactly you are going. And as soon as you link those, you'll be able to see that probably, let me show you something like here, probably the high priority strategic initiative has just a couple of projects. That is something that might be changed on the organizational level. So let's say you have very high prioritized strategic goal and just a couple of projects that can help you to reach this goal. In this case, those gaps will become visible, and you will be able to change the course of the company, to change the course of the project office in order to launch projects that are aligned to your strategic goals, that are not going somewhere else. And the longest way but it's actually the deepest way of understanding your organization, is to change the mindset from the operational level to strategic level. It means the first thing that you need to translate, to show, is the strategic initiatives. And in order to make it happen, you will need this linkage. You will need the linkage of every task through the project to every strategic initiative. And as soon as the people have those tasks prioritized, they will be able to quicker achieve the final state of the project. So as soon as those initiatives are affecting the task's priority for everyday's work, it means that the employees will do what the company needs them to do, actually what the company strategy is. It will help them not to be overloaded with operational tasks, because as soon as they are, it will become visible, and as soon as it gets visible, you can change it anytime. What else? The minimal healthy structure to start from is the portfolios and tasks, because as soon as you have the portfolio level, many operational risks and mistakes with the prioritization will be visible. So when you start working with the projects on a portfolio level, you will be able to understand already here, right on this level, to understand the common trends, the common risks here, and you'll be able to do something with this. And as a result, you'll be able to understand what is happening with your strategic initiatives, with the goals of your company, and with the track that you have chosen for your company for the future. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty it. And now it's the time for questions. see here.
I have a question. Since we are talking about strategic initiatives, I wanted to understand um, about the data security, if you can, highlight something around that.
Yeah, actually, as for the data security, Monday is very like compliant for the security, and as I told you, actually, all the data can be hidden from particular teams. But if we're say talking about the security inside of the company, it's described here, so we can actually hide workspaces, hide boards, hide projects, hide columns, hide lines, tasks, and items. But as for the external security, Monday is compliant to, like, I would say, all the most important certifications, and is having very high level of security at the platform level. So as a as the platform owner, as a system owner, your employees will be able to very quickly limit the access if, in the case of, if they think that something went wrong, they can just limit access to everyone or to certain people, or they can configure the access on the level of the roles. So Monday supports also the roles-based access. So you'll be able to configure which roles can access which information, and this works for all the levels of your work. So it's applicable to strategy level, to project level, to portfolio level, to task level, to subtask level, and to columns and to lines as well. So that is how actually the security works here, and it's like a very huge and I think we could probably cover it in the next webinar. Thank you so much for your question, actually. And today we just observed how Monday can support multi-level strategy, strategic initiatives, projects, portfolios, tasks, and how those entities can communicate to each other, and how the single task status can affect the whole company strategy level. So I hope it was useful, and I hope that it can leverage the business that we're working with. This session is being recorded, so you will receive the recording of the session. And thank you for coming, and have a great day.